$154 million. This is the astronomical price of the private mansion of the third richest man in the world, Bill Gates. The multi-billionaire holds a fortune of about $150 billion, and he built his dream home near Seattle a few years ago. It is probably the world's most amazing private residence. And this video is going to be a tour of sorts through Gates' breathtaking Washington home. From massive garages to luxurious pools to a trampoline room, and all the little ins and outs of what is probably the most intelligent and modern smart home system in the world. This should be a good one. So for all this and more, stay tuned right here at Wonderlane. Alright, so right off the bat, we want to introduce you to one of the coolest features of Bill Gates' house, his smart home system. It's really amazing what this mansion is capable of thanks to the latest technology. Among other things, the system recognizes every single visitor and can track them at every turn throughout the house. Since the smart home knows where the residents are at any given moment, it can easily change the temperature and also the humidity without any manual intervention. The system also knows what music the occupants prefer to listen to, so it always plays their favorite genres. But of course, the smart home system has other important functions as well. For example, home security. In the event of a break-in, it can locate the intruders and even block doors. It's also linked to the house's phones, so the phones only ring in rooms where people are currently present. Another pretty killer feature is the visual entertainment system. Since Bill Gates is not the biggest fan of classic paintings on his walls, he went about installing countless computer screens in almost every room of his new house. These screens display his favorite works of art or family photos whenever he enters a room. That's not to say that Bill Gates doesn't have any expensive art though. Gates has long been a fan of scientific and historical artifacts. Not only does he own an art collection worth over $150 million, but his library also contains an object that many historians probably envy. And honestly, it's something that really probably should be in a museum. This is an original manuscript by the one and only Leonardo da Vinci, which is over 500 years old. This manuscript by da Vinci, in which he mulls over the color of the sky, has been in Bill Gates' possession since 1994, when he bought it at auction for an unfathomable $31 million. Today it is the centerpiece of Gates' gigantic library. Moving on from the library, where Gates keeps thousands of books, let's visit the most jaw-dropping rooms of this mansion. In addition to the 7 luxury bedrooms, 6 kitchens, 24 bathrooms, there are several rooms that are completely original. Among them is a cinema room with its own popcorn machine. Gates also has a trampoline hall measuring several hundred square meters built especially for his grandchildren. Since the multi-billionaire is also an enthusiastic sportsman, his villa also has its own tennis court and a very spacious indoor gym. When Gates wants to relax a bit, he can do so in one of his numerous pools. The mansion has its own pool building with a large outdoor pool, where the Gateses can listen to music underwater, and also a roof terrace with a small swimming pool and a whirlpool. Gates is a highly sought-after businessman and benefactor, and he regularly draws attention to himself with generous fundraising campaigns. He organizes large gala events for this purpose, and he has a huge entrance hall in which he can receive up to 200 guests for dinner. Now let's take a look at something that most homes have, but just not like this. The Microsoft founder can store up to 23 luxury cars in his massive garage. Since he is particularly fond of vintage and exotic cars, his collection consists of some antiques and a bunch of Porsches. In addition, Gates has also parked more normal cars here, such as a Ford Focus. Since we have mainly looked over the interior to this point, let's move outside. The house is located on the bay, and it has its own dock. From there you can visit the garden, which is more like a small forest. It boasts features such as a small stream and a wide variety of trees. The entire garden is also connected to the smart home system, which ensures that all plants and trees are always watered. In addition to the intricate garden, there's also a small beach for which Bill Gates had sand imported from the Caribbean to create an authentic island vibe. Gates is above all concerned with the sustainability and efficiency of his home. For example, he had it specially built into the ground in many places in order to use the natural thermoregulation of the soil and in this way save on heating. And this is by no means the only special feature when it comes to the construction and design of the mansion. Before we wrap things up, let's take a look at how exactly Xanadu 2.0, which is Gates' nerdy-ass name for the smart house, came into being. Bill Gates developed the initial plan for the house in 1988. At that time, he bought the 6,000 square meter property for $2 million and began scheming. However, since Gates was still working around the clock at Microsoft at the time, the planning took a whole 7 years. After Bill Gates had fully drawn out his plans, construction finally began in the mid-90s. More than 200 construction workers and over 100 electricians were employed to complete the mega mansion. Bill Gates lives in a home that seems like something out of science fiction, and it's equipped with just about everything you could ever want. Nevertheless, there is one place where the multi-billionaire will probably prefer to spend his time in the near future, namely his $650 million yacht, Sino Aqua, which will soon be setting sail for the first time. Of course, this is not an ordinary yacht, as the 122-yard-long superboat will be powered entirely by hydrogen. Gates has prioritized a luxurious lifestyle, but he is also extremely environmentally conscious. For this reason, he tries to do without CO2 emissions in his house as well as on his boat. In addition to the revolutionary and environmentally friendly propulsion system, the yacht is also stupid fancy. There are gigantic pools, dining rooms, luxurious bedrooms, a gym, and even a large indoor spa area. The yacht is so large and modern that each year it's said to cost $5 million just to staff it. And that's gonna do it for our video on the dream home and boat of multi-millionaire Bill Gates. What are your thoughts on this lifestyle? Think it's a bit over the top? It's definitely interesting to think about what the psychological ramifications are. The guy has to be completely detached from humanity as a whole. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments, and as always, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to Wonderlane for new videos just like this every other day.